我特别同意刚才季月先生说的，如果是一款好应用，它一定要抓住用户的痛点，解决用户的问题，并且满足用户的需求。其实人们生活当中有各种各样的需求，生活上的、工作上的、社交上的，点点滴滴、方方面面。移动互联网呢，就很好的为我们各种需求填了空。说到填空啊，这2年移动互联网的一个细分领域，手机游戏或者说移动游戏，真的是赚足了眼球，实在是太火爆了。那么我们的 GMIC 全球移动互联网大会上，自然也为这么火爆的一个 category 准备了一个特殊的舞台。哎，现在我就有一个空想填，我想给大家照张相啊。第一次看到主持人在台上给大家照相，对吧？来，笑一笑，1、2、3 ，cheese。好。然后我会把它分享到我的这个 leisure time， 分享到我的朋友圈，让大家看到我们现场每一位观众的笑脸啊。所以我现在觉得很多移动设备真的是满足了用户的方方面面。接下来我刚才提到的 Global Game Summit 移动游戏峰会的颁奖典礼马上开始了，有请颁奖环节的主持人李娇。
谢谢陆畅。很荣幸啊。那么今年呢，长城会也开始了首次的年度移动游戏大赏，名字叫做海燕奖，非常的漂亮的名字。寓意呢是选出最具发展潜力、最有全球化视野的公司。通过网上的投票和组委会的综合评定，我们选出了下列公司获得今年的奖项。首先，让我们来颁发的第1类奖项是最佳研发公司。首先有请来自 Supercell 的 Alexander，Welcome on the stage。那么同时呢，也让我们有请长城会的 CMO，以及联合创始人白瑞德先生为 Supercell 来颁奖。Congratulations。Stay on the stage. We have 8 winners coming up. 那么下面呢，让我们掌声有请，同样是获得最佳研发公司的，来自完美世界的李青，掌声有请。那么，最佳研发公司的最后一个大奖花落谁家呢？让我们掌声有请易动娱乐的任小丹。即将颁发的第2个大奖啊，这个奖项的类别呢是最佳发行商。首先，让我们掌声有请来自 CMGE 中国手游的 CBO 谢仁新先生。手游。接下来，掌声有请来自触控科技的吴国建先生。恭喜触控科技夺得了最佳发行商奖。下一位，掌声有请金山网络的于洋。 请到台前。恭喜恭喜金山网络！那最后一类，最后的我们这个海燕奖最后一个类别呢，是最佳渠道奖。最佳渠道奖的第一位获奖公司是iOS， 掌声有请威廉。最佳渠道奖的得主是金山网络的 Clean Master， 再次请上于航先生，再次有请。谢谢于洋。我们今天海燕奖的最后一个得主，同样是最佳渠道，掌声有请来自腾讯科技的微信徐威先生。随着刚刚9位嘉宾的上台呢，我们今天的 GGS 大赏的海燕奖颁奖典礼到此告一段落了。那接下来呢，我把这个舞台还给主持人陆畅。
谢谢李娇。说完了游戏呢，我们要再回归一个既严肃但是又非常充满希望的话题，就是创新。创新，我个人认为是推动整个全球前进的力量。那么在 GMIC 的舞台上，我们会为创新者准备怎样的 surprise 呢？大家都知道，我们有一个 G-Startup 的 competition。那这个 G-Startup 的比赛呢，我们会把颁奖典礼也放在我们的闭幕式之前。我们的 G-Startup 的 host 是来自印度的 Gurpreet Singh 先生，在强城会已经服务了很多年了，所以让我们热烈的掌声有请 G-Startup 颁奖环节的主持人上帝爱。
Thank you, Lucia. Thank you, guys. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gurpreet Singh. Chongo means Shanti Ai. I'm responsible for the Global Startup Competition, also known as Chuangshin Tasai. We have this event twice a year, once in Beijing, in GMIC Beijing, and once in GMIC San Francisco in US. For this year, we have amazing teams from we have 178 applications from 21 countries. And top 10 presented yesterday on a G-Startup stage. We'll have the award ceremony for them later in this event. Before that, I will actually like to introduce and have a small sharing from our last year's winners. So please help me welcome our last year's winners, Nils, founder and CEO from Traintracks, and Nevo, founder and CEO from Visualead. Please welcome to the stage. Welcome, guys. How are you excited to be back in this competition, in this GMIC conference?
It's always great to be at the GMIC.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks for inviting us, and really feels like a family, part of GMIC family now.
Thank you, guys. So I'll actually start with Nils. How do you describe Traintracks, like in your own words?
So Traintracks is a real-time behavioral analytics platform that is quite a bit different from other analytics tools because we have built basically version control for data models. You can think sort of a GitHub for data models, which allows especially international developers to really consolidate different binaries, different versions of their game that can allow them to get aggregate metrics a lot faster and a lot cheaper than they've been able to do before.
And Nevo, how do you describe Visualead in your words?
Okay, so first is Visualead, the international name, but Shijuema is the Chinese name, Chinese brand. And using our technology takes any image, any profile picture, any advertisement, any business card and turns it into a visual QR code that is scannable by any QR code reader in the market. We have an O2O platform that serves over 400,000 users. Our users are small businesses, advertising agencies, and using this platform, anyone can create his visual QR code, create his mobile optimized campaign, and enjoy some performance analytics. And all of that in one do-it-yourself platform. We also have an API to generate the mass production of our visual QR codes.
Cool. So this has been 1 year. You have won this competition. How do you see the success in, like, what happened in this last 1 year? I'll start with Nils.
I think the most important thing to happen to us thanks to G Startup is we got in touch with a lot of really great mentors, people that could help us build our product to what it is today. This was our first venture. We had never done, well, our CTO had actually done a startup before, but for 2 of the 3 founders, we had never really done this before. So being put in touch with mentors that have international experience with China, experience with the Valley, that was really valuable to us. And we benefit from that contact network every day.
And Nevo?
So also for us, it was an amazing experience. And right after the conference, we completed another funding round, in total $2.5 million. And also a lot of Chinese giants like Tencent and Sina and Renren approached us and want to use the products, want to use the technology. Today we are, thanks to GMIC, integrated into Renren application. Each one of 200 million Renren users has its own animated, personalized QR code that he can link his profile to. Also, we work with several advertising agencies here in China, with several brands like L'Oreal, Citizen, Crocs, now Ctrip, several other brands, and really, really excited. And of course, we opened our offices, not here in Beijing, in Shanghai, but all of this is definitely thanks to the GMIC. And on top of all, if we are here, so we did a lot of localization. And today, here in the GMIC, we have launched our first mobile application, which you can actually take your image, your face, and turn it into your profile picture. You can download it from app.shijuema.com and try it out.
Cool. So let's talk about the global startup competition. Like, how do you think it has impacted the success? Like, because I start with Nevo first, because last time I heard that when I talked about China market, especially because the event was in China, and you like, maybe, I don't know exactly about China market. But in this, after winning the competition, how it has changed for your company and for yourself, like this whole China market? Like, it's a huge market, but how's the impact?
Yeah, so I think my answer can be very short to this question, because the fact that, you know, we took ourselves, and I'm the CEO of the company, and I actually moved with my wife and kid to live in China, says it all. How we see the Chinese market, how we see the opportunity in this market, and that's it. That's how it changed the face of our company and my personal life.
There's a huge change. Like, your whole life has changed to China from Israel. That's amazing, actually. How about you, Nils? Impact of how was the impact of winning this global startup competition changed anything or any impact on your company and yourself?
It in many ways was a night and day difference. So we joined G Startup very early in our company's lifespan. So whereas you guys did the growth stage, we were doing early stage, and we didn't have very much more than an idea, a few lines of code. But thanks to G Startup and thanks to the mentorship that we got, thanks to the people that helped us talk about our product in a more in a way that customers would understand, it changed the path of our product. It helped us raise money. We've raised money on quite a bit since G Startup, and it really helped us understand better what our product was. I mean, you would assume that as an entrepreneur, you have a very clear vision of what it is you want to do, but what they don't tell you is you keep learning along the way. You meet people here at places like GMIC, you run into people in the VIP room, and they help you understand that there's so much left to be done, there's so much more that can be done. And I think thanks to the mentorship we got here, our product is better. It's not only that we got in touch, like we won an award and that's nice, but it actually helped make our product better. And I could definitely recommend for any budding entrepreneurs in the audience, apply. It's a great experience. Even if you don't get in, just the process of applying is something that if you're a first-time entrepreneur will help you think about what your business is.
A lot of entrepreneurs over here. Any founders, CEOs? Please raise your hand. Looks, we have one over there.
I counted 100.
So well, let's talk about mistakes. As a young entrepreneur, as a founder of the company, you might have done some mistakes or something which changed your way of entrepreneurship or leading your company. I'll start with Nils first.
I think we were too sure about our assumptions coming in. We were very nervous about, especially fundraising, since it was our first time. And we read a lot of books and we had a lot of assumptions. And we learned that fundraising is not a science, it's an art. And there's so much that a book can't teach you. There's so much about being an entrepreneur that nothing but being an entrepreneur can prepare you for. So it's been a very humbling experience having to postpone beta launches where we were very sure that this is what we need to be releasing. But then we learned from our mentors and early testers that actually you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. And I think the biggest mistake that we made last year was making up our mind too fast about what needed to be done. One of the great things that you can do as a startup before your team is hundreds of people is you can stay very flexible. You can make sure that you adapt to new situations. And we had the mindset early on that we needed to have a very clear roadmap, a very clear financing strategy, and I think that made us weaker. And once we realized that the strength of being a startup, the strength of having a small team with strong mentors, is that you can change your mind and you can do better things than you initially thought.
That's actually very good tips and some really advice for the young entrepreneurs and founders or founders of new companies over here. Nevo, your thoughts?
Yeah, so first of all, to totally agree with Nils, and it's not only, even if you raise money and you think, okay, now I know how to raise money, then you get to the second round and you think you know how to raise money, but you don't know. So being an entrepreneur is learning something new every day, even if you did it before. And that's a very important thing to remember. And I think for us, again, in the last year, after we understood we want to be in this market, and we did some deep research about our market, the Chinese market, and we understood that we have to have local team, local management, and to be here, to be on the ground, to feel the customers. And I think the one mistake, main mistake that we did is that it took too long. Once you know that you want to do the Chinese market, then do the Chinese market and be here. Come here, be here, feel the market. And I think that's the biggest tip that I could have given last year.
Just one quick question about, you both are Laowais in China. How do you see, like, as a foreigner, having your company and doing the business in China? Any thoughts or any suggestions or any comments on that? Nils first.
I think it's both a blessing and a curse. A lot of people will have a lot of respect for your backgrounds if you've, like some of my co-founders went to nice universities and is very well respected. But on the other hand, there's a mentality with a lot of Chinese VCs that if you are not Chinese, you're not necessarily good to invest in, especially not if you're a first-time entrepreneur. So it took us a long time to find the right investor to work with. And there were many false starts, many things that fell apart because we were foreigners, because we didn't speak the language, because we didn't grow up here, we didn't understand the culture. But on the other hand, once you found people that were really willing to talk to you and engage with you as peers, they would often appreciate the perspective that you brought over. So I'd say that as a foreigner here, it can be harder to strike up a conversation with an investor, for example. But the ones that do listen, they really will listen.
Nevo, your thoughts? Language barrier?
Yeah, I think the first thing as a foreigner in China is, again, as you related it before, don't make assumption from your own country when you come to China. It's not the same. Okay, so this is maybe one thing. And the second thing, decide if you want, like I said before, decide if you want to be here. And if you want to be here, then you have to be here. You cannot do it, from 5,000 miles away through a business development company or something like this. You have to be here and do it yourself. And if you don't want to be here, then either don't be here at all or give the technology to some local partner that maybe will do something with it, and that's it.
I think the word Laowai encapsulates a bit what the problem is being a foreigner, because being an entrepreneur is scary, and a lot of things feel foreign. There are a lot of people that are strangers and will remain strangers, and when you're in a culture where people won't necessarily call you by your name, but refer to you as collectively as Laowai, you can feel even more isolated. And I think that's something to take into consideration when you come here, that you are going to be a stranger when you first come here, but you can definitely become on a first name basis with people, Gurpreet.
No, I think that's absolutely right. Every market have their own cultures and all language barriers, and also the localized thing, what they call. And localizing in China is the very best thing you have to do, and it's the basic for every market. Very quick, quick question about because we have this year amazing startups from 21 countries, 178 applications, and top 8 countries presented yesterday. We have not announced the winner yet, but a general advice or suggestion for this winner of this year, or any suggestions for that? Nevo, first, you go ahead.
I think, like I said before, define what you want to achieve from this winning of conference. Define how you can leverage this win. If you want to be in China again, like I said before, then take this decision and put your focus. And I told some of the guys there that they should go over to the crowd and take pictures, because it's a great PR, it's a great material in front of investors. So, and the rest are the same tips that we said for foreigners. Come here.
Nils?
I think that all of the startups that are here today for us when we were here, most of the value that we got out of the conference, we actually got before we even knew that we had won. The mentorship happened before we competed. The people that we met that got to hear our pitch, that got to give us feedback, we got all of that before we even won. So winning was not nearly as important as participating. I don't say that to be a chump, but there's so much to get out of a conference like this. And even if you don't win, you don't know if you're only half a point behind, and you shouldn't let it beat you down. I've met some of the teams here today, and they're all amazing.
Yeah, they're all awesome, really.
Thank you so much, guys. We are running out of time, and I'll thank you both of you guys for sharing your thoughts and being with us for after 1 year.
Thank you, Gurpreet.
Thank you, Nils. Thank you, Nevo.
Thank you.
Please applause for them.